The meat seemed to spread out much farther than mere gravity would dictate. Wherever I ran, it seemed to float directly toward me, winding in streams like the swaddled pods of an enormous amoeba. Not my imagination. It was the worst-case scenario, but at this point, far from surprising. I had already seen moving, twitching things come out of the takeout windows. Things that couldn't possibly have been alive, but wriggled frantically, even as they were torn apart and devoured. The increasingly fatter, greasier mouths of my neighbors. A chain of green-tinged sausages rose shakily from a nearby heap like an intoxicated cobra. I gagged a little. Emerging mostly from the outer edges of the chamber, the living flesh was forcing me closer towards the tower, where I would have no choice but to ascend the catwalks. I was probably going to die either way, and it was probably going to be hideous. At least, I might sneak a glimpse at an alien world on my way out. Entry 5.4. By the time I had climbed only 3 levels, I couldn't see any empty floor space below me. Only a solid lake of meat rippling with unnatural life like a pit of deformed, blood-soaked maggots. I could see pieces beginning to climb after me, questing blindly until it figured out the stairwells, or simply creeping snail-like up the side of the tower. A few managed to catch up with me, or even cut me off momentarily. But the shovel turned out to be an excellent choice. What I couldn't smash or sever, I heaved over the side. Something like an inside-out penguin toddled up to my feet on the 4th level. One good smack, and it crunched wetly into a perfect comical disc, still wiggling loosely. Oh God, I can't speak English. Rancid brains burst like spoiled pumpkins under my wrath. A writhing mass of intestines inexplicably squealed and died once I chopped off what it was loosely employing as a head end. A giant heap of pinkish slime gave me some momentary trouble on the 6th level, striking off one blow after another, until it was stricken by its overwhelmingly chemical stink, and brandished one of my flares, hoping it might be flammable. As though it knew exactly what I was thinking, it retreated like a snail into a rusted metal drum it had been lugging around. Though individually pathetic, the meat creatures were persistent and increasingly bizarre. Somewhere on the 8th, possibly 9th level, I turned around to find a big fish head attempting to sneak up behind me, tiptoeing comedically on a pair of eerily human feminine legs. It froze when I coughed, as though realizing too late that I'd been watching it for a good 4 or 5 of its exaggerated sneaking steps. Some fat white bug, like a woodlouse, tumbled out of the fish's mouth, chittered angrily, and fed on its hind legs before I knocked the fish thing over the edge. Huh. The further I progressed, the weirder things emerging from the factory's plumbing. Things that must have grown and festered far longer in its lightless meat bowels. I could barely liken some of them to any animal or body part. Pustuled yellow tubes looped along like inchworms, and tentacled black blobs floundered like stranded fish in pools of their own yellow-green secretions. I was waging a war against hot dog scrapes from Planet X. Okay, that was that was the beginning of the entry 5s. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this up to you guys. I hope you still love me, and I hope you'll still come back for me. This is Luna, and this is Creepypasta Radio.